to 6, a helping hand with your land.
Neil from Essex here today, out to do a quick demo for you with a load cell hooked to the front of this standard L series tractor. Today we're going to go through and show why you need to have your tractor ballasted when you're doing meaningful work with your loader. These loaders are deceptively capable. When you go through and look at your spec sheets, you're going to see that they can lift some pretty meaningful loads, but those spec sheets are often deceptively conservative. Loads on these loaders are generally going to be rated, if the company's being honest, to full height at the center of the bucket, dumping into the back of a truck. Now, when you go take this same loader and you come down to a carrying height and you add in the ability of this top cylinder right here to roll that loader back, you can start to push those numbers way over top of what it says on a spec sheet. And when you start to lift crazy loads out in front of this tractor, you'll start to find that the back end of that machine gets light in a hurry. And very concerningly to me, a lot of these machines are often sold without adequate rear ballast. You need to have that weight back there in order to do these kinds of things and really push the tractor and get its full capacity out of it. So today we're going to give you a quick demo on how unstable this machine becomes unballasted and how much ballast I need in order to really push this loader hard. So a little bit here on our setup first. This funny looking mount plate on the front is actually something that we built for trade shows. It's to hold a flat screen TV when we go to shows and stuff. It works really well for a test like this because it helps move my load center out in front of the tractor and gives me a good center place here in order to attach a chain onto. This right here is a 10,000 pound load cell. That's what's going to give us our measurements. And the lower end of this chain is attached onto a tire that's buried 10 feet underground. So that's what we're going to be pulling against. So we're going to go through here and do a couple of different tests and show you some of the numbers that we get depending on varying ballast conditions. Okay, so we're going to prepare to go for a ride here. So this is a fully unballasted L3901, lifting to carrying height at bucket center. Oh. And there goes the back end. And when we get to curl, we can go up in the air all day long. So I'm lifting with my full rear end up in the air about 940 pounds now. Where I come off of here and just start to come unplanted, I'm actually a little higher than that. I lift just over 1,000, it looks like. Yep. So to right about 1,050 pounds is where my second tire comes off the ground, and then it starts to drop after that. And that kind of makes sense, right? As that fulcrum changes, as the weight of the machine starts to come forward, you progressively lift less. So what we're going to do here is take our loader, pull it back in this carrying position and tension this chain. And you can see here, I pull right back to about 1,050 pounds. Now this is only using the lifting cylinders. Now when I engage the curl, you can see there I quickly start to destabilize the tractor and my rear end is completely off the ground. That brings me up to about 1,400 pounds of lift, pulling this 350 pounds of ballast back behind the tractor where it should be pretty effective, completely off the ground. So not only am I unsafe operating this way and putting a lot of undue strain on my front axles, I'm still not getting the full capacity of what this loader could lift. How's this for ballast? We're going to ballast this tractor with another tractor. So with the rear end really planted down in a way that it can't move, and by lifting that loader up and also using the curl circuit to bring that load back in, I was able to push that up to 1,826 pounds of capacity. 400 pounds over my already ballasted number, way over my number with no ballast at all. So gives you a really good example there of how you really need to have a lot of weight behind the machine in order to really push that loader. So in conclusion, this test kind of gives you an example of why ballast on a tractor is so important when you start to push the machine really hard. and also how much more capable these machines can be than what you might be led to believe by looking at the spec sheet. This machine is rated at that measuring point right about just under 1,100 pounds or so, and you can see I was able to get a test up to 1,800, and that's by combining the lifting power with the rollback power of the loader. When you roll that load back, that's got a lot more capability, but it still continues to bring it closer to the tractor and lift it up off the ground when you're doing it. So when you're doing things like manipulating logs and that kind of stuff, you've got a lot more capacity by using those two functions together than what you would have in, say, a set of pallet forks where you need to keep that load level as it goes up and down, and you can't use that curl power in order to break it up and lift it without spilling your load. So a lot of interesting things these things can tell us. So you could very easily see the danger that you can have on a tractor when it's completely unballasted. Not only are you not getting near the capacity out of the machine, but you also create a situation where a strong loader with a big load in front of it can very easily throw that rear end up in the air. So make sure that when you go through and you're setting up your tractor, we generally are going to recommend at the very least you're filling your tires with fluid. That's going to give you more or less the rough equivalent of that ballast box or the grading scraper on the back of my tractor. In my case, what I tend to do is I have my tires filled with fluid. When I know I'm going to be doing silly stuff like this, I'll throw a heavy implement on the back too in addition to that to make sure I get as much weight behind that machine as possible. Also keep in mind that all of these calculations and these physics, this is going to be in effect regardless of how heavy your base tractor is. So more weight in the tractor never is necessarily a bad thing, but when it comes to this ballasting, the important part here is where the weight is at, way behind the tractor, not just that the machine itself is heavy. That does not get you like a free pass when it comes to the ballasting game. So if you're shopping for a piece of equipment and we can help, or you have parts or service needs for a machine we've already got, give us a call at Messick's. We're available at 800-222-3373 or online at messick's.com.
How's this for ballast? We're going to ballast the tractor with another tractor. It worked before. How's this for ballast? We're going to ballast the tractor with another tractor. There, we just need diff. How's this for ballast? We're going to ballast this tractor with another tractor.